been coming. You lot have known, bro. Let's be real. From the end of 2020, you knew you weren't getting what the real Europe, the Europa League, and I know it might have looked different, but you knew you weren't getting several things because, as I keep saying, the target should have been August. Listen, when you start a season, not that I've ever been a Premier League footballer, but August until December, that should be the only focus, and it damn well better be these lots' focus now that they're not in nothing. From August to December, whatever happens, whoever is out there, you get it. You're coming out of that end of the year, the new year, 2022, and you're in and amongst that top 4 pack. From January to what, give or take, let's say what, end of March, beginning of April. That's your next focus. And then from end of April, beginning of May, it's a straight shootout. It's a final. That's where you have to be of the talk of, we've got ourselves to this point. Don't F it up now. Kind of what Leicester have done, and they've effed up at the end. But things like this, the table don't lie. It's all fun and games, winning when there's no pressure, winning the occasional big games, looking well in the top 6 games. But the devil is in the details, and the 38 game period don't lie. I don't care that we, from December to this, we might be third. That means F all. That means F all. Yes, there's some positives you can take from that, but that shows, if you look at that, it shows the level that we're not. If you take the woe is me approach, it shows that Arsenal actually, people actually think we're worse than we actually are. Don't get twisted. We're terrible. The truth is in the middle. We're terrible right now, and it will take a lot of time. But things can move very quickly if everybody's serious, and building blocks can put in very quickly. On whether he sees the positives of not being in Europe, bro, you said you wanted preseason. On top of that, you're playing in one tournament historically, so there would better well be some positives, Arteta, because you've got nothing to hang on. You know, I don't think Europe has been a problem. Yes, when you look at it like, okay, you're playing in less competitions, of course it makes sense. Of course it makes sense to not play in one, and you have more time to train. But listen, when we went out of Villarreal, is that because we was fatigued, or what were the other reasons? How we played in the latter stages of the Europa League, you know, in the first leg specifically, against Olympiacos, against Prague, against Benfica, ultimately lost against Villarreal, might be missing one out. Are these proper ways? No, we've had to turn it around. So we've had to manage our squad and play players when they shouldn't have played and things like that. Arteta has mismanaged the squad. You've played Partey when he's been injured. You played Bellerin when he's been injured. You played Odegaard when he's been injured. You suffered Xhaka and David Luiz needlessly, and maybe they could have helped us against Villarreal. Who knows? So it's a management thing. It's utilize. It's squad and man management. I don't think it's a thing with Europe. And I'm not being funny. Let's say next season goes the way we want it to, and that, you know, we're playing one competition, we qualify for top 4, and for me, win the FA Cup, or let's just say top 4. What happens then? Because the next year after that, we're going to be playing in multiple competitions. So what are you going to tell me now then? You know, as much as I've got time for Arteta, there's a lot of things that just sound like nonsense. Sometimes I believe in calling a spade a spade. You know, Arteta, I want to see seriousness, because generally it can get toxic. You might not make it to December if this thing keeps happening. You know, you're not to blame for everything, but ultimately it's on you. And I haven't seen enough. Maybe you've been complacent. Maybe you've tried to do too much and done too little. Maybe a bit of it has been because there's no real pressure on you. But ultimately, you took over last season, innit? You've had preseason. You had a free hit towards the end of last year. We should at least see early building blocks. You know, somebody that doesn't watch Arsenal, doesn't care about football, should be able to watch a game before you came in, a game now, and see an evident improvement. I'm not saying one has to play like Barcelona, but an evident improvement. Or if not an improvement, you can see something. I don't. I just see the same old nonsense. But he said on whether he sees the positives of not being in Europe, I'm sad because this club deserves to be delivering trophies and the Champions League. You don't deserve anything. You deserve when you work hard, when you put in the hard graft. You lot haven't. Because when the times got tough, you lot haven't got going. You lot don't deserve a damn thing. Fans deserve it. You lot don't deserve it. And, you know, you lot are the club because you lot are the ones playing. We're the heartbeat of the club, of course. But you lot are the club. You lot don't deserve it. You do not deserve it. There's no divine right. That shit is earned, like life. No one gives a crap. No one gives you nothing. So when I hear language like this, I get annoyed. We haven't managed to do that. It's very challenging circumstances, but we've tried to stick together and do our best. Doing your best is all I can ask for. Trying to stick together is not good enough. You damn well better stick together. And if not, get the hell out of the club for those of you that are not with this thing. It's not been enough. We have to be very critical of ourselves, of myself, and then prepare the best way for next season to take advantage of that. Hopefully we can have a preseason that I haven't had and have time to work with those players and try to be a better team. You might as well. But again, you know, I look at that defense. They're all gonna be going and coming at different rates. I don't know if Saliba's in the France under 21 side, but if he is, you can't use him right now. You get it. Gabriel's called up to the Olympics. Martinelli's called up to the Olympics. Tierney and Leno probably going to go off with their countries in the Euros. In midfield, Partey, have you got a partner? Xhaka, guy that you build the team around, is going to be playing at the Euros. And I'm sure if we, Laka's going to be there, Bellerin, if still here, is going to be there, Willett will be there, couple of players will be there, but they're probably not going to necessarily be the first teamers. So how much of a preseason are you going to have? Are you prepared for this? There's no excuses, because while I think, we can talk about it, are we really going to sit here and say, because a man never had preseason in May, that's an excuse for a lack of system and a lack of clarity over what we need to do? And for what I want to see, fix up the midfield. One, you was a midfielder. Our midfield don't score goals, don't control a game, don't defend well. That is the first and foremost the priority. Defense, I want to believe in a back five and know they're on defending. Strikers, press from the front consistently. Our first defender is our striker. Our first attacker is Leno. So show me that logic. I saw building blocks when Martinez is starting moves in the FA Cup and when Aubameyang's pressing from the front and them and they are pressing. There's been incidences. I actually think Spurs and Chelsea, this season we've pressed quite well. But these incidences, obviously, if you play 38 games, it's going to go well for you 5 or 6 times, but not quite to the level we need. So there's no excuses. Europe or no Europe, there's no excuses, Mikel Arteta. There's fully no excuses for that, people. You need to turn up. You need to make sure you get the players in that you want. You've made decisions about who is going to stay and who is going to come in. Within reason, you need to be helped. Just find a core bunch of players and work with them, because it's long for you. If it doesn't happen, December is long. December times, you're going to get the clip. Someone has to get blamed for that. Someone has to hold the blame, and it's going to have to be you, Rude Boy, really and truly. Do I think you can blame Arteta? Do I think he's been given a tough time? Of course, but no Europe, no excuses, in my opinion. No excuses. There's no excuses, not for tactics and all of these things. Arteta, sometimes I think he gets blamed for things he shouldn't be blamed for, but every problem and everything that's going right, everything that's going wrong as a manager on the football field specifically, you've got to take accountability. Obviously, where Edu and Kroenke come is the playing stuff. We all know we need better players, but I ask anyone, even Arteta's biggest fans or biggest critics, which I'm neither, I support my club. Is it as easy to say you bring Arteta a midfielder, a centre half, a right back, all of these things that we think we need or he may need, and we see an uptake in performance? On one hand, I think yes, because there's been numerous times I've seen him set us up perfectly and the players have effed it, whether it's individual mistakes, conceding early goals or whatever. But so I think yes, but on the same hand, if I'm honest, no, I haven't. I haven't seen enough to say, all right, cool, when you get better midfielders, this is what your midfield's on, this is what the fullback's on. Best performances have been reactive, Leicester and West Ham. We went a goal down. We're chasing the game. Best performances. Spurs, fair enough. Spurs was different. We were onto them. Chelsea were onto them. But typically in the top 6 games, our plan, like against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge versus the Emirates, is to sit back. Sit back and be proactive in being reactive. We're being proactive in that we're deciding to be reactive, and whatever these lot do, we're going to react to it and we're going to play against that. We're not proactive. And a lot of that is not down to the players. West Ham have scored more goals than us. Whatever you say about Lacazette, Aubameyang's form, Pepe, all of these players, Willian, bro, they have scored more than us. What are we saying? That is down to tactics. I'm sorry. And as much as all these players have to take individual responsibility, there's no coincidence. Not a single attacking player has excelled the duration of the season. Aubameyang needs to ask himself honest questions as to why he isn't banging, and he can't blame Arteta. But why is it Aubameyang's not scoring goals, not in and amongst the top goal scorers? Something he's been able to do with his eyes closed since he signed for this club. Why is it that Williams somehow managed to, despite no one having much expectations, still been able to disappoint? What's going on with Pepe consistently? Now we're seeing the Pepe, and I actually praise you for a lot with that. But do you get it? You've over-relied on Smith Rowe and Saka. What are you doing with Martinelli? Attack shouldn't be an issue at Arsenal. What I mean by that is I'm not saying it's the best in the world, but let's not sit there and lie. Look at them names. Should attack be our problem? We should be able to score goals. And whatever you think about Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, Willian, Nelson, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Odegaard for this year, who's ever involved. These are players that, let's be serious, people don't want to defend against them. They're players that can score and create. So they need to take responsibility. But what the hell is the manager doing? And this is the thing. We just need to be honest with ourselves. Until we're honest, it is what it is. But in relation to that, no excuses, Arteta, man. What's going on, man? Simple as that. I've got no allegiances to Arteta. I've got the allegiances to my club. I don't care about Arteta or the players. I want them to do well. But this is the thing with Arteta. I think he's crippled by a lot. Have I seen enough to back him blindlessly like I've actually done with Wenger to a point and believe in certain things that I don't see a reason, but because you're saying it, I'm going to believe in it? No. Have I seen enough reasons to hound him out of the club? No. Where I'm at with Arteta is that if you're staying, back him. But it's a thing where it's like you feel like a parent and you're just hairdryer treatment to your son misbehaving. And also, you know, if you stayed, it is what it is. If you go, I don't really care because again, like you're not doing the job really. And I'm not being funny. This job is a luxury for Arteta. He's punching, getting it. There's no real expectation. You know, this is going to be a great experience for Arteta, whether he succeeds or not, because he's going to have learned a lot and been through a lot. And then he might go on and be the manager we think he wants to do. But we need to remember this is mutual interest. And again, you took the job. With all these problems, you took the job. You took it. I admire you for taking it, but you took the job. So how far can excuses land, people? But moving away from that and carrying on, big up everybody commenting. I know I'm not showing you lot any love. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We're going to crack on with a lot of stuff. I appreciate that, Ak, man. I appreciate that. Chase, a bit of that, a bit of not. You know, I do think the players aren't good enough to take heed, only as several players, but sometimes, you know, you've got it, you know, I still think Arteta as well. Are you overcomplicating tactics? There can't be 25 players unable to take your tactics on. You know, that's a very lazy thing. So is it something to do with your communication or what you're doing? This is where I feel personally, not saying you, but you can't pick a side, man. And I didn't say there was an improvement, bro. If you heard what I said the improvements have been overstated and haven't been long lasting. As I said, when you look at West Ham, when you look at Leicester, when you look at some of the games the standout performers, even the Benfica in the second half, we've bopped teams, we've played well. But as I said, it's not long lasting. It's not consistent. There, and a lot of that is with the players mentally, but that has to be with the manager. I can't sit here and praise Arteta whenever we've won, which he deserves, and the players, and absolve him of all blame when we've lost, which him and the players deserve. We win, lose, or draw together. I don't know what you lot are on, not saying you, but that's what I'm on. When we lose, we ask questions, we point fair fingers. When we win, you know, we look at what we can do to get better and we praise everyone. I just feel this is what I mean about not you, but fans lack balance, you know. You either blame Arteta for everything in this world or nothing. When it's the truth is in the middle. Yes, Kroenke's a crook. Kroenke's are crooks. Yes, we need to see more from Edu. Yes, he's inherited some poor players. But what about what he's doing? You know, because there's a good manager in there, whether it was a small managerial bounce or whatever, bro. The minute he come in, we defend him better. We was playing with, you know, for me, mentally, in last season, mentally, these players looked like he was a breath of fresh air. So I know he can do it. But this is what I'm saying. Where is it? And let's be real. Look at the sheer hours. I'm not good at maths, but how much hours? Listen, from they're not 9 to 5ers, but 9 to 5ers. Monday to Friday, them and they are playing. If they're playing on Sunday, they might even have a game on Saturday. So let's say Monday to Saturday, these lot are training, right? Plus preseason. How much hours is that? Yes, there's other games, injuries, but how much hours is that? Seriously, how much hours is that? So I can't sit here and say these things like this, that, and the third. I think a lot of these things are right, but I just feel there's multiple issues to blame, and Arteta has to hold his hands up. I'd rather Arteta get new players than sack Arteta because some of these players make me sick. But I haven't seen enough to just sit here and say, yo, you get better players, you're going to be amazing. I think you will because, once again, individual mistakes. But they're not. It's not enough. Really, it's not enough. So yeah, man, I'm loving all the comments though. 450 of you. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. We're gonna get into the other bit in a sec. We're only at 220 likes. We must can pattern that up though, people. Come, let's move towards 300, or it should be 4. There's 450 of you locked in. I thought you looked like, man, but getting back into this, people. You know, let me be cheeky. So next time stamp there, because I meant to talk about that in short anyways, folks. So yeah, that's 45. But moving away from the Google Doc, getting back to what he said and hasn't said. So yeah, bro, there's no excuses on what Josh said to him at the game. The same thing that he says every time we're on the phone, that he's very supportive, very passionate about the club, and he wants to take the club to a different level. That's the ambition, and that's why he's here. Boy. And I think we're gonna make another timestamp about that. We're going to make another timestamp about that for people. Then where is it? Well, you saw the video ideas there, people. What should we call it? We'll put it here. Just say what? Arteta, bigs up, Josh K. Let's just call it that. Simple. Oh, apologies, people. I'm just trying to make sure those of you that are not live have the best possible viewing experience. But yeah, he's bigged up Josh, and Obviously, but I'm not gonna lie, rightly or wrongly, Arteta's clearly between a rock and a hard place. I do think his language has differed on the owners because it's not that he was backing them at the start, but he would smart ways kind of like blame them but not blame them and things like that. Now